What's happening, party people? This is a remix of actually my number 4 most viewed video, which is about seafoam. It's had 1.2 million views. I doubt it'll gain that kind of traction again. Before I get started, I want to let you know that I'm not a guy that uses additives. I think normal maintenance and care of your vehicle will normally help it function as it was designed to do. Using additives is usually not helpful. Now, if you get a vehicle that's been sitting somewhere for 10 years, you get a vehicle that maintenance has been deferred, people not changing oil, using some weird stuff in their fuel tank and stuff like that, additives like this may help. But in general, it's not really necessary or useful. If you've had different experiences and used this stuff and benefited from it, leave a comment below. Also, if you've used it and had adverse experiences, let me know. Because I've received a couple of phone calls from people that has put this stuff in their crankcase and things went way wrong after that. Now, some people that use stuff like this is using these products in old vehicles with a lot of miles. I've seen people put this in their vehicle that had maybe bad valve stem seals. It went from bad to worse. They went from consuming a quart of oil every 700 miles to a quart of oil every 50 to 100 miles. So in some cases, this could be a bad thing. However, if you've experienced good or bad, please leave a comment below. I'm interested in knowing because I don't recommend this stuff to people. However, if you get a vehicle that's been sitting somewhere or neglected, this stuff may be useful. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video, think about the product. If you need to contact me directly, check out the clip at the very end of the video. Without any further ado, let's get started. Seafoam. Should I use it? How to use it? How do I know if I need to use it? Stuff like that. Well, simply put, seafoam is an additive. There's many additives out there for oil and fuel injector cleaners, oil stabilizers, Marvel mystery oil mix, all these type of things. And when this subject comes up, the seafoam topic, the first thing that comes to my mind is aggressive. All of the things that I read on the container, all of the things I've heard people say about it, all of the results people claim they get from it, to me, plain and simple, it's an aggressive tactic to use when trying to clean out deposits on your fuel injector system and inside your combustion engine. Here's my car. I know how it's been maintained and serviced. I know the oil's been changed on a regular basis. I don't believe that I have any sludge or gunk inside my motor because I change my oil regularly and I use high quality oils. So I don't think it's necessary to pour seafoam into my crankcase to try to clean out deposits. When you read the can on the things that it does and all of the benefits that it gives after the use of it, it all says over and over again, due to buildup deposits, due to deposit buildup, dirty parts due to deposit buildup, blah, 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 due to deposit buildup. So if there's no reason for your car to have quote unquote deposit buildups, I don't think it's necessary to use something as aggressive as seafoam to try to clean out the inside of your motor. In the owner's manual of your car, it recommends using oil that meets certain specifications. When you look at the seal on the back of your oil container, it'll have certain specifications that it meets. It'll also list different things on there that it has as a standard. In all modern day motor oils, these oils contain detergents. Detergents are part of the oil package, different with every kind of oil, and these detergents are designed and made to clean the inside of your motor while that oil is being used. So when you open up your oil filler cap and look down in there, you can see oil, and you can also see if it looks dirty in there or clean. As you can see, I have a little bit of residue on the parts inside my oil cap, but it's not a buildup of sludge or something that can be scraped off with a metal object or nothing like that. So I don't think I have any sludge in my motor. Sludge normally builds up in your motor as a result of failing to change the oil as recommended or scheduled with your oil change interval. There are three primary ways to use seafoam as a deposit buildup removal. Number one is pouring a can of this, which is 1 pint, 16 ounces, into your fuel tank. They recommend that 1 pint will treat anywhere from 8 to 25 gallons. So you want to make sure you have more than a half a tank, preferably 3/4 or higher. You pour all of the bottle into the fuel tank, and this will help lubricate the fuel system, clean the fuel injectors, clean and lubricate your valves, and get rid of carbon buildup or other type of buildup debris that may be inside your fuel system or inside the passages of the motor that fuel will touch. Because if you pour this in the fuel tank, this will touch everything that fuel touches. Another way that this can be used is this can be poured into your crankcase or quote-unquote oil system as a crankcase cleaner. That means that you take off your oil cap and you pour 1.5 ounces of this in your oil per quart of oil. So if your car holds 4 quarts of oil, you pour 6 ounces of this in the crankcase. They say you could do it before or after an oil change. So I've heard about people putting this in their oil, and it says change your oil once it becomes dirty. So you may drive 50 miles, may drive 100 miles at any event. This will be stripping the inside of your motor and oil passages of carbon buildup or sludge buildup. And once that oil is dirty and contaminated with those deposits, change your oil. I've heard of people putting this in your oil, driving 10 or 15 minutes, leaving a cloud of smoke everywhere they go in the process. Then they come back, change their oil, and they have a lot of sludge aggressively cleaned out of their motor. Again, if you're going to use seafoam as a crankcase cleaner, add it as outlined on the instructions, 1.5 ounce per quart of oil. Drive it till the oil's dirty. Change your oil. I say put in inexpensive oil, drive 100 miles. Change the oil again. Drive 1,000 miles. Change the oil again. Hopefully those 2 or 3 rapid oil changes will get most of the sludge and other debris that this seafoam freed up out of your motor, so that your car can begin to be on a normal oil change regimen after that. The third and final way that seafoam is to be used is to allow the seafoam to be sucked into the motor while it is running via a vacuum port. They have a special caution on here that if you let a vacuum port suck this seafoam into the motor, make sure that that seafoam will be sucked across all the cylinders and not just one bank. For instance, my car is an inline 5. I have a vacuum tree on my car right here behind my throttle body. I could pull one of those ports off and hook up a vacuum hose to it, put the vacuum hose into a measured container of seafoam, allow it to suck in through my intake, and it will suck across every cylinder. If you have a V6 or a V8, you got to make sure that whatever vacuum access you use will suck the seafoam across all of the cylinders, not just 3 of them or 4 of them, not just half the motor, through the entire motor. Now, this container is a 1-pipe container. Seafoam strongly urges that you only put 1/3 of that which in the 16 ounces, you're looking at, I guess, about 5 ounces of it. Allow that to be sucked into the intake. So measure off 5 1/4 ounce or 5 1/3 ounce, put it in a separate container, hook up your vacuum to your motor, then start your motor. While your motor is running, allow that vacuum line to suck that third of measurement, the third of the container, into your intake system. And anywhere that air travels in that intake system, this seafoam will be sucked into there, hopefully stripping away any deposits and carbon buildup and other things that may be on the path of your injection system, your valves, and stuff like that. It's supposed to not hurt your O2 sensors or exhaust, so it's safe to do that. So those are the 3 methods of using seafoam. Again, I repeat, in my opinion, seafoam is aggressive. There are other additives and things that you can use that will do the same job at a less aggressive process. So if you need aggressive results, go ahead and use seafoam. If you don't need aggressive results, use something that is not as aggressive. I use Lucas fuel injection treatment to clean my fuel injectors. I've heard of other oil treatments that you put in the motor, but remember, if you're going to do something that aggressively removes deposits or sludge, be prepared for the results that it gives you, and having this sludge and stuff like that floating around in your motor until you get it drained out. Hopefully it won't clog any small ports or get stuck anywhere while it's loose. So just to recap, seafoam will not fix parts. It won't repair a burnt valve. It won't fix our fuel injector that has a failed pulse or electronic part. It is strictly designed to clean deposits off of parts inside of the motor. Fuel injector, valves, rings, pistons, stuff like that, and sludge in your crankcase. So this is not something that's going to fix something broken, but it will aggressively clean and strip parts of deposit. Long story short, the best use for seafoam is, 1, if you have a car that has been sitting for excess of 90 days and it has old fuel in there, fuel that you don't want to pump out, pour a can of seafoam in there and let the seafoam stabilize that fuel, and so it'll make it through the injectors fine. Another good use of it is if you have clear signs of some kind of sludge in the motor, or you know that the person that had the vehicle prior to you did not change oil regularly, you drain the oil, it seems thicker than it should seem, the oil's extremely dirty, the car's been sitting on excess of 2 years or something like that, those are good examples of times where you probably should use seafoam. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for @RobertDIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the more link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.